Welcome back to the YouTube. Firstly, I just want to say apologies for yesterday. I know there was no upload. If you're in my Telegram, I did update people in regards to the fact that I wasn't going to be doing a daily market outlook just due to not feeling well. So I do apologize, guys. Hopefully you forgive me. But no, I hope everyone on this video is doing blessed as always. Happy Wednesday. I hope your week is going as amazing as it is for me. It's the 26th of March, and this is your daily market outlook. And we've got some catching up to do. We've got some catching up to do in regards to yesterday as well. I'm going to go over major pairs and cross pairs. So this is going to be a good one, hopefully for you guys. But as always, before we do get into this video, I just want to make sure that you guys understand that this content on the channel is for educational and informational purposes only. I am not a financial advisor, and nothing shared in my videos should be considered financial or investment advice. Trading and investing involves risk, and you should always conduct your own research before making any financial decisions. So now that's out of the way, let's get straight into these charts. It's the okay, you should be able to see my chart. Yep, I think you can. Amazing, amazing. Okay, let's go, let's go. So let's, as always, start off with Forex Factor, checking out the news. It is the 26th today. Yesterday, there were no news at all. Today, we've just had, obviously, early morning news for the Great British Pound and also AUD, which is Australian dollar. Tomorrow, we have at half one US dollar news on employment claims. And then I think on Friday, yeah, we have some US dollar news, Canadian dollar news, and the Great British Pound news. So, okay, perfect. So let's get straight into the charts. As always, we are looking at the US dollar as our start. So as you guys already know, and heard me talk a lot, I've been explaining that the market has been in this 4-hour demand or daily demand, whatever you want to call it, for a long, long time now. And obviously we was waiting for a move. So remember, we were talking about the consolidation of this area, and we was waiting for either a breakout of either side to make a decision. So as you guys can notice, we finally managed to have that breakout. Now, if you guys remember, this is my daily lower high and this is my daily lower low. So again, what we always recognize that if we have a daily range like this, and this is my daily high, this is my daily low, we want to see a 4-hour trend met to a daily and 4-hour supply to then create that new leg. So that is obviously the main thought from the daily time frame. So if you look at this currently, if I just get rid of all the noise that's going on, you'll be able to see that it's obviously still not clean. It is still in that in that consolidation area. Like, it is not exactly the nicest movement of candles like this. If you look, still very choppy and still undecisive. So, it's not the nicest, but we've got to play what we can obviously see. So with that being said, let's drop down to the 4-hour. And if you drop down to the 4-hour, you guys will be able to notice that, of course, it's pretty clean, I guess. Now for me, there's a lot of imbalance below here, and that is, I don't know, this whole imbalance is quite appearing, because we've been so clean in regards to the trend. If you look how clean that the trend has actually been, let me get this up, sorry. This might be better. If you look at the actual trend, it's been very, very clean, very clean. And once the trend is very clean, you'll be able to notice that usually there is a trend line liquidity happening, which usually informs me that when the trend line is very clean and you've got this trend line liquidity, eventually we will get a manipulation to wipe out anyone that's still holding these buys. So that is just something I want you guys to maybe understand, because we do have quite a clean, trend line from either side, just to understand. Now, again, we had a beauty of a reaction from this demand area, which was a 1-hour demand area, and you can see that now we are in this 4-hour supply area. So of course, main thought is, of course, this is our higher low, this is our higher high, and obviously if that is our 4-hour structure, we expect the market to, of course, carry this trend on upwards. That is our main thought. If I change this lower, does it look better? Let me just do an 8. Well, that might be better. Yeah, so I expect the market to obviously carry on this trend. And as you guys can currently see, if you look at the 1 hour, you can see that the 1 hour is pretty clear. We've had the pullbacks and we're meeting the demand areas on the 1 hour pretty clear. So again, first thought is, yes, we're reacting out of this 4 hour supply. We do have some sort of imbalance still left in this 1 hour supply area above. So obviously, yeah, we expect the market to, obviously continue upwards. Now, of course, you're probably going to shout at me because I am contradicting myself. I am in a couple of trades which are coming against this, to be fair. So again, I've been a bit riskier, but it is what it is. So as you guys can currently see, give me 1 second. I think someone is shouting me. Sorry, guys. 1 sec. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, as you guys can see, the trend is pretty clear, so we are expecting that bullishness to carry on. But I have contradicted myself a little. I've been a bit more riskier. So obviously, looking at this right now, this is the perfect reaction, and that is what we've got to focus on. Now, again, the 1 hour is pretty clean. If I just cut this in half, you can see exactly where the demand areas are meeting. So the demand areas are meeting clean. And that's why we're having this bullishness happen. So, yep, everything is saying to me, obviously, bulls. So I'm not stupid. I'm obviously aware of that as well. I've just been a bit cheeky, and I'll show you what I'm on about. So yeah, bullishness is what I'm expecting. Perfect reactions so far. Unless we get if you look at the 1 hour, let's just focus on the 1 hour. You can see higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and then we fail to create. So we can break this obviously low, then of course I'd be expecting the bearishness to potentially come into the markets. So that is what my main thought. If I just keep that up, you can see that is where the low that I want to see broke. And obviously, as of right now, with this demand area in control, we right now should have broken that higher high to carry on, and we haven't done that. So we haven't done that, and as you guys can see, we are just slowing down and consolidating. So let's see how this plays out for the rest of today, and it should be interesting. That leads me on to Euro USD. Let's just go to the 4 hour Euro USD. So pretty much the same on the daily. You'll be able to notice that, of course, daily is still in this higher low and this higher high. But if I cut down to this 4 hour, you'll be able to notice that, of course, the 4 hour is moving pretty clean from a structural standpoint. So yes, we still have some imbalance above in this 4 hour supply. But you can see we've had these 1 hour, 4 hour breaks pretty clean and pretty obviously easy to understand. Now, of course, we are again in this 4 hour demand area, which is obviously a big talking point for me, and we're slowing down. We failed to close above below this. Let me just get rid of this. Look, you can see we wicked below, so we failed to close above below this. We failed to close below this again. So I don't know, when supply is in control or demand is in control. So when supply is in control, supply should be that strong that, of course, once we meet a supply area, it should be able to, break the low. That's just my only thing. And as you guys can see on here, we've obviously had this low. We come back up into the 4 hour supply, and it's like we're failing to break this low at the moment. We're failing to break this low. So that is just something that is obviously playing to me because we're in this demand. Is the demand going to start taking control from this? And that is just something that is, like I said, playing on my mind. So yeah, Euro USD currently from a 4 hour standpoint, we're reacting from this 4 hour supply. I wanted to come a bit deep into this 1 hour, we didn't quite get that. If I drop down to the 1, you'll be able to notice that, of course, as of right now, I'm going to cut this down to this 1 hour supply zone, which is here. I'm going to change it to a 1 hour demand zone, not a supply, sorry. 1 hour demand zone. So if we look at this currently, let's move this out of the way. If we look at where we're currently at, we're in this 1 hour supply. This wick, can be classed as a liquidity sweep here. We can class this as a liquidity sweep. And then we had this 15-minute break of structure here. So for me, that is just something that I'm playing in my mind, and I'm waiting to see that, okay, if we could break above this, then yeah, I'm most likely going to be looking to long this upwards myself. But of course, I need to see that break, because as of right now, this is the 15-minute supply area, which you can see we're reacting from, which is why the wick is wicked up and we're not fully closing in or above that. So, we could see the market just dump away from this as well. So yeah, that is what I am currently keeping an eye on for Euro USD. And then that leads me on to GBP USD as well. So GBP USD, as you guys can currently see, just give me 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. I had someone calling my phone. But yeah, as you guys can see from a GBP USD standpoint, obviously daily is exactly the same. We've got our daily higher low. We've been saying for a long time that we need to come and rebalance this market. And we're still obviously trapped in between this like consolidation stage. Like all this area is very, very ugly. But as you guys can see, it doesn't stop us from obviously analyzing the markets. You can clearly see that if you look, we had this supply area met, and then we had this move down. We failed to break this low again, and then we've come back up now, and we've mitigated this 1 hour supply, and now we're getting that movement away from here, which was caused by the news that we've just had this morning. So 1 hour supply is in control currently. My analysis has been perfect so far. This 1 hour supply is in control. So, obviously, if we can finish below this, then what I'd expect the market to potentially do is, let's see if we can react from, I don't know, supply area to carry this on downwards if the dollar makes sense. Again, everything that I'm talking about from a dollar perspective is bullish and the major pairs is bearish, and then you're going to be laughing at the trade ideas that I've actually got because they're the complete opposite, which is hilarious. And I'll cover that now. But yeah, as you guys can see, we are in this 4 hour demand area. We have had, reactions to 3 times. So as of right now, of course, 4 hour and 1 hour supply is in control. Now, if I look at this perspective, you can see that everything's working out perfect. So the either areas I'm going to look out for this to come and obviously react from and sell from is either this area or this area up here for sell. So this supply candle or this supply candle here. So either we're going to see potentially a reaction, take out these highs because that's trend line liquidity, tap into this supply and then potentially get that dump, or it's going to be obviously this supply area and then dump from here. So let's see how we currently react from these this week. But yeah, man, like if I look at the supply area, you can see that we've got this 4 hour, but this is our 1 hour supply area, which we're reacting from. So, 1 hour demand area and 4 hour demand area. So a bit interesting. Obviously playing to the fact that this has been caused by news as well. Whereas obviously if you look at the dollar's not had exactly that same bullishness that the GBP USD is showing the bearishness. So again, that is just keep that in mind. Now, AUD USD is one of the trades I am currently in. So I'm currently in AUD USD, and I'll explain why. So if we look at the daily time frame, you can see the daily higher high, daily low is here, daily lower low. We've obviously had this perfect reaction from here. Now I don't know if it's a stupid thing, but of course we didn't meet the supply. So I was looking at buying this up into this supply area. So that was my main train of thought is if I can, and the reason I bought this is because we didn't meet this supply area here, at demand area. We didn't quite tap in. This didn't tap in here, which is from like last week or the week before. But what we did is we wicked below, taking this liquidity. And then if you look, we had that 1 hour change of trend here, which that gave me the confidence of, buying this up and then making a decision from this supply zone. So that is my main train of thought. Yes, my TP is here, and that's just because I don't want to have a lot of noise going on. I'm just saying if that's where the market's going to go, that would be, or this daily higher high would be my TP. Now, obviously, if I can get into this supply area, that's when I can then make a decision of maybe even selling. So then I can be in a buy and a sell zone. And obviously then I can obviously play the game of seeing who's going to win, supply or demand. Now, of course, the areas that this is a 4 hour supply area here. 4 hour, well, 4 hour supply area is this whole area here. But I'm just going to go off this little area. And then the next area would be this here, which will be at the extreme level. So it's going to be interesting. In fact, I'm going to put this as a 1 hour supply because I've already got this as a 4. So it's going to be interesting to see if I can potentially see, the market carry on upwards would be nice, and then I can make a decision from this area or this area, depending on what the dollar's doing as well. So yeah, hopefully you guys understand why I'm in this trade, and hopefully it makes sense. Obviously, as of right now, we are slowing down. As you can see, the volume is slowing down a lot. So I will most likely go to break even after this call, potentially after this video, whatever you want to call it. Now, same for NZUSD. A little bit more cleaner, to be fair, a little bit more clean in my eyes anyway. And the reason for that is daily is bullish. Daily higher low, daily higher high. Now, this is my 4 hour and daily demand area, pretty much. I think it's a daily demand area. And as you guys can see, we had this trend that's going on, and then we had this movement away, which, yes, it said it was a 1 hour break here, but this little break above on the lower time frame is what confirmed it. This little break here. So that gave me a 15-minute, 30-minute change of trend, which gave me the confidence of buying from this area. Now, I understand that, of course, we're inside of this 4 hour supply area right now, which is this last candle. And that's where we're slowing down. So this is where I've got to make a decision to, potentially sell as well as holding this buy and then seeing what wins. So that is something that I am obviously keeping an eye on for today, is this supply area, because currently, as I'm speaking, we're around a 1 to 1.6 up. So of course, I've got that pretty much locked in. We have had a break above this. So there's two ways I'm looking at this. If I can get in a sell area from here, then my next demand area will potentially be around this area. So then I can go, okay, I'm going to sell, see how we react. And then if we dump, obviously, I'm going to be obviously either break even or loss at this, and then I'm going to be up on this sell area. So that is something that I'm going to keep in mind, should I say. But obviously, let's say this is the bullishness that we're going to get. Let's say, let's say that this is the start of the next daily higher high. Then obviously I can aim for that, which will be a 1 to 6, which will be a beauty of a trade. So I'm obviously in this on my live accounts and my funded accounts. So let's see. USD CAD as our next thing I'm not interested in. She is not as nice as I would like. USD CHF, again, boring if I'm honest. But we've got to obviously do what we've got to do. Now, obviously, if you look at this daily demand, that we're in, we're currently reacting. But if you look at this, it's a lot of sideways movement. If you look at the trend that's happening here compared to this area here, we're still waiting for a break of either side so that I can make a decision. So that is my main thought, because we're in that consolidation phase as we speak. Now, of course, 4 hour supply areas here. We haven't reacted. Well, 1 hour, 4 hour supply area is here. Yeah, sorry, let me just go to the 4 actually. Let me just drop down so you can see. So 4 hour supply area with imbalance is here. Imbalance is above, and the 4 hour supply area is here. So obviously, my main train of thought is, can I see a reaction from the supply area? Could this be early inducement? That's what I would like to see. Now, with that being said, I'm not really seeing any buys potential. And obviously, we're reacting out of this supply area. But one thing that stuck out to me to this supply area is we failed to create a new 4 hour lower low. So I'm not in sells from here. I'm just marking up as this is a 4 hour supply. And like I said, the reason I'm not in sells with this is because this leg failed to break this zone, failed to break this lower low. So, could this be the catapult for the bullishness to come in? And it seems like we're getting that. We're slowing down. We're not really having that movement away. So yes, you can look at this and say, okay, we're inside of this supply zone here, which we are. That is a valid 4-hour supply zone. But of course, we didn't break this low. We didn't quite break this low. So we are trapped between this demand and this supply, pretty much here. If I go down to the lower time frames, you'll probably be able to see a 1-hour demand and a 1-hour supply. So look, this is my 1-hour demand. And then this last candle is my 1-hour supply. So we are trapped. I want to see either a break of both. That's just my main thought, because very consolidating, no breaks but below here. So the only thing that I can look at is, okay, this was a lot of wicks that we did manage to take. So that is liquidity. And now we've actually created liquidity here. So could that be a tale to me of it saying, okay, this could be the catapult to then potentially, we've took this liquidity here. Now can we take this liquidity here and fill in the rest of this imbalance below? So that is the only thing I'm obviously keeping an eye on at the moment with USD CAD. Potentially be break below this, then you can obviously look to see if you can sell that down. Or me, should I say, because this is for educational purposes only, sir. Okay, that is USD CAD. And then I'm in USD Japanese yen as well. And the reason I'm in USD Japanese yen is because I like the look of it. And the reason I like the look of it, if we go to the daily time frame, you'll be able to notice that this is my last daily lower high. This is my daily lower low. So obviously, once we've created daily ranges, we understand that we want to see the supply met, and then we want to obviously see a new daily leg created. So that is my main train of thought for this daily time frame. Pullback, can we see this new daily low broke? So with that being said, you can see the daily time frame. If I look at the daily candle, we are slowing down quite a lot. The volume is coming down. So could we potentially, God willing, be seeing that as the catapult to, now carry this downwards? If I look at the actual movement of where we're currently at, it is a contradiction to myself, because this is a 2-hour supply area we're reacting out of. And of course, this is my 4-hour area. So yes, I am selling in between a 4-hour structure. And the only reason I'm selling is because this is our daily leg from this high to this low. And obviously, if you can catch the top of the range, if you have the kahunas, you can obviously swing trade these ideas if that happens to create a new daily lower low. So let's see how she reacts anyway. So just to explain, we reacted from this 1-hour, or obviously you guys, it is a 1-hour, but you guys can obviously look at this 4-hour demand area here. And we got this bullishness up, but for me, it's just not something that I was looking at buying at. We still have an imbalance below here. If anything, if I just drop down the time frames, if anything, I would have wanted to see this demand area met. Obviously, this is valid, but just for me, I wanted to see this demand area met. And potentially use, these now as liquidity. So that would be perfect for me. Now, of course, if we're looking at this right now, you can see that this demand candle, probably on the 15-minute, is going to be my first objection. So we're slowing down. Can we get past that? If we can get past that, I'll be confident enough in knowing that we could potentially see this low taken, these lows taken, should I say. And then obviously, if we can get that, God willing, we can see how we react from this 1-hour demand area. So that is my main thought for USD Japanese yen. And obviously, the reason I took the trades, you guys know, is if you look, we were very bullish. We obviously had a pullback. We tapped into the 2-hour supply. We had this 1-hour change of trend here. We then had another 1-hour break. So I got one confirmation, two confirmations, and then it was about waiting for this to obviously react from here. So that was why I obviously got into USD Japanese yen. Now, of course, you guys have seen a comment yesterday about the cross pairs, which of course I will cover now. I won't be spending too much time about the cross pairs, but we can have a little flick through and see what's going on currently. So looking at AUD CHF, we have, let's just have a quick look. looking at AUD you can see that we've got this daily lower high and this daily lower low. Now, we reacted from this 1 hour supply, but we didn't react from this 4 hour and 1 hour supply above here. Now we have imbalance below that as well. So that does play to, say to me that we could potentially see bullishness to rebalance the market, and then we could potentially see this is where the market dumps from. So as of right now, we had a reaction from this supply area. We got obviously a trade, and then we came into this 1 hour demand area, and this is now where we've had this bullishness up. So looking right now, this is my range that we're currently in, from this low to this high. So what does that mean? So that means because we've gone from bearish, let me just get rid of this. Because we've gone from bearishness, slowing down, to bullish, that means that now I can expect bullishness in the market. So this demand area for me, this is my 4 hour demand area. It's quite big. So we can potentially refine that on the 1 hour, which would be this area here. But that's where I would be looking to see if the market can potentially react from. So what I'm trying to say is, can we see the market, the next market move from here to carry this trend on upwards? So that is AUD Let's see how she plays out for the rest of the week. Let's flick through. We've got AUD Japanese yen. I was looking more so to buy from this area. As you guys can see where my demand area was, that's what I was looking for. We didn't quite get that. We have created, these equal lows. But as you can see, we've got this bullishness coming in right now. From the 4 hour, it's not really a supply area that I can see. If I drop down to a 1 hour, you can obviously class this as a supply, but yeah, I guess this supply area, this candle was met by this. So yeah, I'm not really like AUD Japanese yen. I'm not really confident enough in selling, even though I'm in USD Japanese yen sells. But one thing I can obviously explain to you guys is this is my new range from this low to this high, because this is where we broke this structure. So I'm expecting the market to, as a minimum, come into here as my 4 hour demand area. So let's just, if you look at this demand area was in control of this this bullishness here. So let's see obviously how that plays out, because that is a clean break of structure as well. So yeah, let's have a look at that for the rest of today. Same with CHF-JPY. Now, CHF-JPY, I would see this area met, but we just got this big bullishness. We obviously called out this area. I think, was it last week? I think, yeah, it was. I think it was last week or the week before. But obviously, if we look at the daily time frame, this is my daily lower high. This is my daily lower low. If we actually look, we've reacted from the extreme supply zone here. And obviously then we had this reaction. Now, two thoughts in mind for me personally are, this could be the catapult of this being a new leg of creating this, new daily lower low. Of course, that's a far, far away. And obviously, if we can break this low, that could confirm to me that we could then try and look for sells as well as buys. But as we speak, the demand area that's in control is this demand area here, this candle area here. It's probably a bit more cleaner on the 1 hour. Let's just have a look. Maybe 1 hour, 2 hour. Yeah, you can see that this demand area is in control. So of course, we're pulling back a little bit into this area to potentially carry on. But let's see. It's not as clean for any like setups that I can see. So I'm going to need to see what happens from that. CHF, JPY. CAD CHF, it's been moving pretty clean, to be fair. Yes, we're in this daily low and this daily range. But you can see that we've got this bullishness happening right now. If I was to just mark out the demand areas, obviously this demand areas, there's going to be a lower time frame, which is why we got this reaction. This demand area is currently in control of this movement as we speak. So we're breaking above this. We've got 15 minutes left, and then I would potentially want to see a reaction from this next demand area. So until we get a change of trend, obviously we're looking for the bullishness on there. CAD JPY, pretty much the same scenario. We've had this new daily break, daily higher low, daily higher high. So of course, as we do, well, let's look at the demand area that's in control. This 4-hour demand area is what caused this bullishness here. Now, of course, this bullishness on the 4 hours not actually closed above this. We have a fresh supply area above that we didn't mitigate here, so that could be where we next come to. So what I'm pretty much saying is, can we see pretty much from this whole area, which is quite a big area on the 4-hour, where we're going to see this next bullishness happen. So can we see this happen from here? That should be interesting to obviously note. But yeah, that is pretty much this bullishness reacted from this large candle reacted from this that demand candle. So you can see the demand candles are pretty clean and pretty easy to see. If I go down to the 1 hour, can I see something a bit cleaner for you guys? Not really. This is very, very bullish. 2 hour, let's have a look. Yeah, obviously, look, that's the easiest point that you can aim to. Another thing that you can obviously do if you're not confident is, let's say you've got this low to this high, use your Fibonacci tool, and obviously know that you can look for. I look for sells below the 618. Sorry, buys below the 618. We have imbalance below here. So if you want, you can obviously go, okay, that makes sense to potentially fill in this imbalance, and this could be my demand area, my 2 hour demand area here. So again, you guys can utilize that to your favor as well. I'm just going to put this as a 1 hour, even though I'm on a 2. But yeah, that is pretty much what I'd be looking for on this next move is, can we see the bullishness carry on from here? Which leads me to the next thing, Euro CHF. So Euro CHF, we're in this daily range. So if you look at this daily range right now, we've got this daily lower high, higher low, this daily higher high. So obviously we're in this daily demand area. Now, if we was to refine this daily demand, it's not clean as I'd like. But you can see that this, let's just say this last down candle is our 4 hours demand candle. Potentially we drop down to the 2 hour and the 1 hour. And you can see the consolidation there. It did get mitigated. So I don't know, let's just see. There's nothing real clean to tell me that this is where the bullishness is going to obviously come from, but it is a demand area. It is a valid demand. Now, looking at the 1 hour, my next 1 hour demand area would be, which we pretty much filled in, would be where we're currently at right now. Like it would be in around this area from here. This is one, but because of the wick, it would be where we're currently in right now. This would be probably the 2 hour area, which we're currently sat in. Yeah, probably like here. Oh, pardon me. So, bloody hell, Liam. So with that being said, can we just see this carry on from here? Or can we see this potentially, break above this high to carry this bullishness on? So in hindsight, I don't like the look of this. Even though witness demand, I need some sort of confirmation for me to obviously participate. Now, Euro Japanese yen, pretty same scenario as, was it AUD Japanese yen? I can't remember. But yeah, pretty much the same scenario. And what I mean by that is daily higher low, daily higher high. We've had this obviously mass move down into this demand area, and we had a reaction from here. We broke this high. So now, we seem to be coming back into this demand area, and then we want to see a reaction to carry this trend on upwards. So that is my main thought, is this is my demand area next for Euro Japanese yen. Yes, it's pretty much filled and in, so we could just react from this area. So either way, we're going to dip in below, or we're going to obviously go from this area here from Euro Japanese yen. But again, pretty clean to see that this is a valid supply area that we have pretty much almost tapped in here. Oh, we're on a 2 hour. Let's see on a 4. I didn't realize we're on a 2 hour then. Not really. That is obviously this is the 4 hour supply area, which we're almost closed in. We filled in the imbalance. You can obviously go off this candle here. So yeah, that is, that is obviously telling as well, because if you look at the trend on a 4, if you look at this, let's just follow the trend. pullback here, there, should we have carried on from here is my main thought. That is a valid demand. Yes, I know we got imbalance, but if the demand is that much in control, could we have carried on? So what I'm trying to say is, if we've got this pullback here, we've had that as like a change. So could we now be reacting to see this? I don't know. Let's see. That is one thought that we can obviously have. So GBP CAD, next thing, as you guys can currently see, this was our daily higher low and our daily higher high. So this was our 4-hour demand area. But as you guys can see, yes, daily might be bullish, but the 4-hour downtrend is bearish. So what do I mean by that is you can see that we've clearly still got this bearishness. We're reacting from this supply. We've broken this change of trend, break of structure. So we've now got a new 4-hour range. And what that 4-hour range is, this 4-hour higher low, this 4-hour higher lower, 4-hour lower high, and this 4-hour lower low here. So next area, what I'd be looking to sell from would be in around this area here. Yes, you can obviously create this area because the imbalance starts there. This will be my next 4-hour supply area, and I would want to see the market potentially come up, see if we can get that shift, and then look to obviously sell this downwards. So that is what I'm looking at for Great British Pound, Canadian dollar. Keep an eye out on that. It could be a clean setup for you. Great British Pound, Japanese yen is obviously pretty much looking sweet. Now, the next demand area that I'm looking at is this demand area here. So can we see a reaction in this 4-hour demand area? So can we see reaction from this 4-hour demand? And also understand that, we've had this, if we can finish the next 8 minutes below this, we can potentially look for sells as well from here, which will be a 4-hour supply area. We've probably got a 1-hour supply area. So what I'm trying to say is, could we potentially sell into this area and then see if we can get that shift? Then we can close this out and then we can buy this upwards. So that is something that you guys can potentially look at as well. Great British Pound, New Zealand dollar. Oh, I'm on replay. What's going on here? As you guys can see, we've had this 4-hour change of trend. We're in probably going to fill in this imbalance below. We're reacting from this daily supply. I wanted to see this 4-hour supply met, but we didn't quite get that. So we have reacted from this supply. So my next zone would be this supply zone here for that. NZ Japanese yen and NZ CHF is not really something. Well, NZ CHF, sorry, it is. And with bullishness from here, this would be my next demand area, 4-hour demand area. So I'll be looking at potentially seeing if we can get that reaction from here. But going back to this as well, the sell area would be from this area. So let's see what happens. NZ Japanese yen, I'm not really interested in. But yeah, this could be the catapult to obviously carry this trend on upwards from here. So let's see what happens with there. And this could be the catapult to obviously carry this trend on downwards from here. Okay, that is it for today, guys. That is your daily market outlook for Wednesday, the 26th of March. I just want to say I appreciate every single person, as always, who plugs into these videos. Make sure that you got your subscribe button turned on, your notification button turned on. Showing any love possible would be amazing. I do appreciate it massively. So other than that, guys, take care and God bless as always.